Come on in, welcome to my home. Today we are going to talk about anti-decluttering. Alright, so we're not really going to talk about the anti-decluttering. We're going to talk about why decluttering isn't really going to solve a problem. Because if you keep decluttering, that's great, that's wonderful, but we have to figure out how did it get to where it is. And how it got to where it is probably consumerism. You know what you need? Clone House 2. Clone House 2 is just like your normal house. It's a house you don't live in. That way when guests or company come in, you can go to Clone House 2 and just be there for a few minutes until they leave. Then you can spend the $795 to have someone come in and clean Clone House 2 for you while you go back to your own house with your own life. Clone House 2. Everybody needs one. So what is consumerism? Well, for today's definition, we're going to talk about consumerism, and I'm going to read the Merriam-Webster definition of consumerism. Consumerism, a preoccupation with and an inclination toward the buying of consumer goods. So what exactly does that mean? And how is that affecting your clutter? So your clutter is made of stuff. Stuff which you had to get somehow. You probably bought that stuff, and some of that stuff was probably given to you, and some of the stuff that was given to you is because you wanted that stuff. But why? Why did you buy it? Why did you want it? Let's think about this. Let's do some research. Let me do some... hang on. Alright, when it comes to buying things, there's a couple reasons that you want to buy things. I'm going to link down below in the description the articles that I refer to. But I mean, they basically say a lot of what I've always known and probably a lot of what you know. And looking at this article, just really quickly, they're saying that there are 7 reasons that we buy things. I think that could be right. Well, let's see them. It says safety. Yeah, I can buy that. We buy things because they think that they're going to help save us. Adventure. Well, fun. Yeah. Everybody wants a little fun and adventure. Significance. Yeah, that one's an interesting one. We buy things for the idea that we want our friends to like them and like us, and that will help. We buy this for relationships. We want to be part of the crowd. We want to fit into that group. And sometimes that will mean that we need to buy things. We buy things for health and wellness. Everybody can relate to that one. You buy stuff because you're going to get fit, you're going to eat better, you're going to sleep better, you're going to be warm. Health and wellness. We buy things for success or a sense of purpose. We're going to buy something so that will help us succeed in whatever it is that we're doing. We're going to buy something that we think is going to lead us to a more fulfilling something. There are lots of things. Lots of self-help books fall into this whole thing. That's a fun thing. We buy things into the growth and development. Am I going to become a better person? How can I become a better person? I want to further my abilities to do something, so I'm going to buy those sort of things. And so basically those are where the 7 reasons that we buy these things, but there's also a new problem. Well, it's not even new, it's happened for years, is that people are now selling us stuff because they know that they're selling us stuff using emotion versus stuff using what it can actually do for us. I think we can all admit that we've bought stuff because, well, it looked cool. It was going to make us happy. It was going to change our lives in fundamental ways because the people who had it, they all were smiling and looked happy, and it didn't work out that way. Because stuff rarely ever does work out that way. They know that if they sell you an emotion, not a product, then you are no longer having to worry about, is the product really all that good? No, it doesn't, no. Well, just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean it isn't going to work for somebody else. But if the product doesn't work, then you're just buying more stuff. And I know that this doesn't really seem like...
What does this have to do with clutter?
It used to be that we would buy stuff that we would actually use. That was the purpose. Whatever you bought had a purpose for it, and then you went from there. That's pretty straightforward. That one's pretty easy because it's one of those, hey, I need to open a can. I'm going to buy a can opener. Yeah, that one's straightforward. I can understand that a whole lot. So if I need to open a can, I buy a can opener, all is done, all is good, all is happy. Well, sorta? I mean, think about this. If you buy something which is utilitarian and it just does what it's supposed to do, you're gonna have to hide it, right? If you buy something ugly, you're gonna hide the ugly thing because you can't display the ugly thing out. Alright, you can, but most people don't want to. But if you buy a really pretty can opener, you can display that can opener. Or if you buy a can opener that everybody's talking about and you want to be one of those people who has the can opener, you can show people the can opener. And then it'll be really cool because you have the can opener. But you still don't understand what this has to do with clutter. Well, I'm dividing up our stuff into things that we can show and things that we can't show. If we have a whole lot of stuff that we can't show, we're going to need to figure out where to hide the stuff that we can't show. But then again, if we have a whole lot of stuff that we can show, we just don't have enough space to show it, we're still going to have to organize the stuff that we can show. But if we combine the two, and we have pretty stuff that we can show that is useful, and we just get the pretty stuff that we can show that is useful, guess what? We don't have to really worry too much about how to declutter, because we're using less stuff. We are getting less stuff. We're not even entering into the whole realm of ethical consumerism, because that is something. Trying to figure out where your stuff is coming from, how it's manufactured, so it makes less of an imprint on the world. Yes, in a perfect world, that is where I would want you to be. I would want you to be in that spot where you are buying great stuff, which is made ethically, which has little impact on the world, but I'm not sure we live there yet. I'm not sure you can afford that yet. So what you have to do before you even really get down into the whole nitty-gritty of let's declutter, we have to think about, how did I get this stuff? Why did I get this stuff? Is my consumerism just out there because I want to do something? Does the thing that I bought, does it serve a need or does it serve a want? And that's going to change your life once you start looking at that. If you start buying things that you just need, can opener for instance, need it to open food, get a can opener. But if you buy things that you just want, I need a can opener that has 7 different digital settings and it talks to my phone. Really? You need a can opener that talks to your phone? I don't think you do. I really don't. At least not one that's been invented yet. And believe me, I totally get this. This whole consumerism thing can be really hard. As in, like, they make it really difficult for you not to fall into the trap of, I want it because it's pretty and shiny. I'm pretty. And you need this stuff. But before you buy something, ask yourself, why are you buying it? Do you really need it? Now, a lot of you are saying,
well, I'm buying clothes so I can make myself feel better.
I'm going to let you answer that question. Does it make you feel better? For some of you, the answer is sort of yes. Because if you feel like you look good, you're going to feel a little better. And that's okay, as long as you don't go and buy, like 50,000 of the same thing. That's when you can, once you've answered the first question about, do I really need this? Is it really going to serve a purpose? Then ask yourself, can I get this from an ethical source in an ethical way? Worry about that next. But the consumerist part of this is buying more and more will just lead you to wanting more and more. A lot of times what we think we need, we just want. And if we just want it, it's probably something we could live without. If you need it, you do need it. So yeah, that's something. But consumerism is something that it's being bombarded at you. You are getting hit all the time with product placements, with reviews, that sort of thing. That's sort of why I like reviews where the people actually talk about the benefits of the product versus product placement, where somebody just stands there holding a product going, I'm pretty, I'm holding this product. That's great. You know, hey, good for you. Does it work? Does it actually work? Will it work later on? I love reviews where people have said, I've used this for a while, this is a product that I stand behind, because then I can get into that.
Is your kitchen a mess? Are you tired of cleaning? We have an idea for you. Yes, imagination. Never tried imagination? Well, try it now. Just close your eyes. Think back to when your kitchen was nice and clean. Doesn't that look better? 100%. Now your kitchen is nice and clean using your imagination.
I honestly believe that stuff cannot make you sad or happy or anything. That's part of you. Having too much stuff disorganized around your house can get on your nerves, that's true. But the stuff isn't going to make you happy. So yeah, when you fall into that trap of, I must buy more stuff because the more stuff, no you don't. You don't have to buy more. They've told you you have to buy more. They've told you that you have to buy the newest, latest, the best and whatever. And maybe it is the best, maybe it isn't the best, I don't know. But consumerism is a big issue. The consumerism where you're just buying more and more and more for the sake of buying more and more and more without, really needing it. That's going to lead to clutter. So yeah, can you see how this all wrapped back around? You need the stuff that you actually need to get things done. That is true. The extra stuff, the wants, you might want this stuff, but you might not need it. If you really, really want it, get it. It doesn't have to make you happy. It should make you happy, or should it make you happy? I don't know. Should you feel joy in it? Because I thought stuff would, I have it anyway. But if you really like something, find a space for it. Try to get the prettiest of something, or the something which you think looks the best and works the best, so that way you don't have to try to hide your somethings all over the place. But try not to buy too much something, because yeah, I think, having extra food around the house is great, so that way if we get snowed in, if we have what's recently happened, we have food laying around the house so that we can use it. But if I buy stuff that I'm not actually going to use, like I don't even like, it's just the fact that it's food, then that was a waste. That was an absolute waste of my time, my money, and my resources. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to waste things. I don't want you to buy something just simply because you think it's going to fulfill a need that's actually a want. Because that truly is that bad consumerism that people talk about. It's new, it's improved, it's new and improved air. All the qualities of air with all the airiness of air. It's air. Everybody needs some. Get yours today. Only $995,000 per second. Yeah, well, let me know what you thought about that down in the comments, and I hope I get to see you the next time you stop by. Now, if you're interested in getting videos like this early, or that sort of thing, seeing the behind-the-scenes stuff, there are two ways you can do this. You can pop over to Patreon and join the Patreon there. They get access to these videos and a behind-the-scenes weekly video. They can get over there, or you can become a member where you can get some shots of the behind-the-scenes stuff and what's going on, find out what's going on in that, or you can also just share this and like this and comment and let me know what you think about this. What did I miss in this consumerism thing? Because we're going to come back to this. I just didn't want this video to be like super long, so we'll come back to it. But yeah, it's something to think about. Everything that you go out and buy, think about, do you need it before you buy it? Yeah. Hope I get to see you the next time you stop by.